In this video, I will explain how to install Python. The installation of Python comprises two parts. One is basic Python and then the other one is Visual Studio Code. To download Python, type download Python in Google and the very first link is download Python. Click on this one and here we have download Python. This is the current version. In future there will be more advanced version, so this number will change. Click on download Python and its download will start here. So download is complete. I will click on this one and here is installation. Click on continue, agree, install. Installation starts. Here you can see the very first one is IDLE, which is integrated development and learning environment. Click on this one and this is our Python. Now over here the font size may be small. If font size is small and you want to adjust it, click on IDLE and then setting, and the first one, as you can see here, is font, and from here you can change font size. Now let's see how it works. So if 20 times 20 and if I hit enter, it says it's 400. Or if I say I create one variable, a is 20 and b is equal to 30, and I want to calculate the product a times b, that's 600. Print the product of a and b is a times b, and if I hit enter, it prints the product of a and b is 600. It means Python installation is complete, and now we'll move to Visual Studio Code. Now for Visual Studio Code, if you can recall, when we were doing R, the installation of R comprised two steps. One was R program and other was R Studio. Visual Studio Code is the counterpart of R Studio. For installation of Visual Studio Code, type download Visual Studio Code in Google and the very first link is this one. That's Visual Studio Code. I will click on this one and it takes us to this page where we have different options: Windows, Linux and Mac. I will click on Mac. Download has already started. Download is complete and I will click on this one and installation starts. So here we have Visual Studio Code and I click on this one. This is our Visual Studio Code. To start working on Visual Studio Code, click on Explorer, this one, and open folder. And before opening folder, you may set up a folder. I have already set up a folder on desktop that's getting started. So I click on open folder and I go to desktop where I created that folder. Getting started, open. Click on this new file. What's the name of the file that you want to create? I want to create this file, getting started, and then IPYNB, which means interactive Python notebook, and then hit enter. And here is our Python notebook. So we'll be working here. If I create a variable a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 30, and the product of a and b, I run it and then I want it to print out. So if I say the print, which means show me the product of a and b, you can click on this one or you can hit shift enter, and then it will ask you select kernel and Python environment. So you can click on a Python environment. There is one that's recommended option, so I will click on this recommended option, and as you can see, it produces the output that's 600. We can also change it this way. The product of a and b is, and if I run it, it prints out this one. The product of a and b is 600. So this means our Visual Studio Code is working fine. As you can see here, this dot, this black color dot, it means that this worksheet is not saved. Press Command S or Control S, and if you go to your folder, the new folder that you created, this file will be there. This is the folder that I had created, and the file that I just created, getting started interactive Python notebook, it has appeared here. So which means if at any later stage, even I close this one, and if I save it and I close this one, I can open it from here. So when I open it, you see the same file is opened. Before we start working on Visual Studio Code, we need to install some libraries. And for that, I will install these libraries: pip install, and the first library I want to install is pandas. Other library is NumPy. Another one is Seaborn. Don't be scared by these names. These are just names of libraries. Scikit-learn, Matplotlib. So these are the libraries that are usually required when we want to make some visualizations and graphs. These libraries are usually very helpful. So I will run it. Again, it's asking which environment, Python environment, and the recommended one is this one. I will click on this one. Installation has started. These libraries have been installed, and in the next step we need to import them. So click on, in order to create a new command, click on code, this one, and import pandas as pd, numpy as np, import seaborn as sns, and import matplotlib as plt. So if you run it by clicking on this one or shift enter, the next step is how to import a file. So for example, if you have your data in CSV format and it is in your computer and you want to import it, how to do that? I create this object, my file is equal to pd read underscore CSV, the name of the destination where the file is. We will start with double quotes and then a slash, and then it will give you suggestions where your file is. So I will start with users, and then again if you press slash it will give you other options, and then again a slash. I will choose desktop because my file is on desktop, and again a slash, and then I will keep going to the relevant folder. Whenever I insert a slash, it gives me suggestions, the name of files which are in that folder. So I will choose that, and then again you can either click on this one or you can hit shift enter, and as you can see here, this green color tick means the file is successfully imported. We can use this command my file head, and it will show us the top 6 rows of our data. This is the data I imported, iris data, and it says the top 6 rows are sepal length for sepal width, petal length and petal width, and the name of species. Similarly, if I want to see the bottom 6 rows, I will use this command. So as you can see, these are bottom 6 rows. In the next step, I'll be calculating mean, median, standard deviation and quartiles of these variables from iris file. And for that purpose, I'll be using this library, that's NumPy, that has been imported as NP. We don't need to import it again because it's already there. To calculate mean, I will write here mean is equal to NP mean. So NP means I'm using this NumPy library. The name of file is my file. So this is how I had imported this file. As you can see here, this is the name of the file, and then this file, it contains several variables, but I am interested in calculating the mean of sepal length. So for that purpose, I will use a square bracket and then I will choose the sepal length, and then you can run this command, and as you can see here, this green tick shows that the command has been executed. I want it to print out to show me what's the mean, and I will type here print mean, and if I run this command, it shows me that the mean of sepal length in iris file is 5.84. In the next step, I'll be calculating median. So for median is equal to NP, which means NumPy median, and the name of file and variable. The name of the file is my file, and then the square bracket and then inverted commas sepal length. And if I run it and then I want to print it, print median, and then it will show me what's a median. The median is 5.8. For standard deviation, np.std, the name of the file is my file and the name of the variable is sepal length. And if I run this command and I want to see standard deviation, so the standard deviation turns out to be 0.825. And the last one is quartiles. To calculate first quartile, I will use this command np.percentile, name of the file, which is my file, and then after square bracket, name of the variable, which is sepal length, and then I need to specify here which quartile. So I'm looking for first quartile, so I will enter here 25 because 25% represents the first quartile. Print it, So it shows that the first quartile is 5.1. If you want to calculate second quartile, then we will change this 25 to 50, and as you can see, the second quartile turns out to be 5.8. If we want to calculate third quartile, then I will change this 25 by 75, and if you run it, it shows that the third quartile is 6.4.